Welcome back, YouTube. Today we have a slightly different video. It's going to be a little bit of a longer one. Another donation, this time from a Scott. Told me to check out the TIDAL Rising documentary on the warning. He had said that this is kind of the best way, in his opinion, to really get to know them. So we're going to do that. The video itself is about 20 minutes long, plus any pausing I might do. So grab yourself a cup of coffee, tea, water, whatever it is, and let's get into it together.
We obviously started playing here in Mexico. We're Mexicans, we're from Mexico.
Oh my God, Paulina looks so different.
So our first shows were always here in our home and then just across the country. And I feel like we've seen it grow over the years and how we started and just our crowd. And it makes me so excited that people my age are looking for this energy and like this music specifically. There aren't a lot of female-led rock bands, only woman rock bands. So
True.
to start working as a young teen, a kid, we didn't even start out as women. Like we started out as little girls in this industry. Children, literally. It involves a lot, and we were doing it with our parents. Like we were pretty protected. Like they supported us so much. They got us into lessons. Like they bought us our instruments. Like,
See, that's some good parenting right there. I was lucky enough that basically to a point, whatever we wanted to try, me and my siblings, we got to kind of try. And I say to a point, it's like, they're not gonna ship me off to snowboard camp, especially if that costs some crazy amount of money. But like any sports that were part of the school, got to try. Tried soccer, wasn't my favorite. Tried baseball, wasn't my favorite. Got into lacrosse, that was my thing. Got into band. It turned out I really liked it. So I think it's really good that when parents are able to do that, and I hear some friends of mine who are parents, say, "Hey, I just can't afford to let my kid do this, or this." And it's like, there's programs, or just pick one, let them try it. Most places have a free lesson, a free something to try, whether it's music, whether it's gymnastics or sports or something like that. You're never going to know what their passion's going to be unless you let them try it. And in this case, it seems like rocking out was these girls' passions.
Like they give us the liberty to like really concentrate on music.
Because imagine you're like just a teenager, maybe 13, and you want to do this, but of course there's tons of different things that you want to try out and do. So like sticking with it was also hard,
The band started out as a 5-member band. Our parents are part of the band. Right now, obviously, our family has grown a bit more, like with our team, our management, and everyone that works with us. But as we keep on working, that is always like the center of everything, and everyone we start working with starts feeling like family, because we've always had that vibe. I feel like we've learned how to be like disciplined and responsible and like level-headed.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's really important for the industry that we're in. So
And I agree. It's good to surround yourself, especially starting that young, with a team that will keep you level headed. It's too easy to fall into that trap. Say what you want about, you know, like Justin Bieber and these kind of celebrities, but the kid was what, 16 and a billionaire. Like, how are you supposed to handle growing up with that kind of money? Um, so it's good when you have multiple people around you to kind of keep you grounded, keep you sane. Not that I don't have any idea what it would feel like to have the success that they have, but I do know that I have people around me that would be not bring me down, but kind of remind me if I ever did get very successful at anything, to say, hey, look, you didn't you didn't always have this. You know, this is not a um, money, whatever, fame, fortune, all that doesn't make you a better person than the next person. You know, in the room or wherever you're in. So I think it's, in some ways it's probably good, especially, or that they are sisters and family, going through all this growing up, because yeah, you can kind of grow together and manage everything together.
A big hug to mom and dad for everything.
What we think really got us into this energetic music and rock and roll was definitely the Rock Band,
The video
game. We loved to play that game, and it was so fun that we just like looked at the screen and we just, oh, we want to do that. I told my dad, like, I want to play the guitar. He's like, are you sure? And I was like, of course. By the first week, my fingers hurt so much that I was like, please, no. But I fell in love with it, and there was no going back.
I've been playing for 13 years. I don't like that number, but okay, 13 years. And well, I've been playing since I was a little kid. I would always play on the drums, like the toy drums. And I remember I really liked hitting things. So I was
Just-
like a
just
perfect
beating
match
stuff.
for me. And my dad saw that I have really good coordination. And he asked me like, hey, like, are you up for lessons? Like, do you want to give it a shot? And I was like, yeah. Nobody wanted to give me lessons. I looked like a toddler.
I mean,
And
you
like
were
I was
six, you were
super
six,
short.
whatever.
Like playing the drums, it didn't look very promising for me. But I met one teacher and I had like a test class, and the teacher was like, "Oh, leave her with me. Like she'll be good. Like, let's do this."
I don't think I have the coordination for drums.
My parents bought me my first bass, and of course I was really young and really short, and I couldn't play a full-scale bass, so they bought me a smaller bass, which I have right here.
right there.
Yeah. It's really small, and I still couldn't play that, and I learned for about a month, and then we started playing together immediately. So I didn't really have like that much time to get used to my instrument before we started playing together.
Okay, wait.
But-
I know that this isn't part of it. I'm going to ask you a
Do it,
question
do it.
because it's like,
Do it.
'cause I know. This isn't my place.
You're breaking the rules.
Because there's a lot of people who tell you like, why don't you play with a pick? Because normally
Oh,
rock
that's
music
true.
is just like,
It's like
but
pick.
you like from the start.
Must
I
been
always
during
play
COVID.
with my
Finger
fingers.
style. Yeah.
I know how to play with a pick now, and I really do like the
Like
sound of it.
Whoa.
But I don't know, I just always played with my fingers, and I do feel more comfortable with my fingers, even though I do play more on time with a pick. It's weird. It does hurt more though, but
I get it. It's like when I play without shoes and when I play with
Yeah,
shoes.
yeah,
I get it. The big turning point in our careers, like we did our Enter Sandman cover, which went viral, but I feel like the point where we were like, we really want to do this, like for the rest of our lives, was when we started writing our own music and releasing our own stuff. that was like, whoa. Like we can create something, put it out in the world, and people react to it. It was just something that we really, really liked and looked forward to. So now that we're doing what we do today, like I just feel like it's a thing that really keeps us going, our music.
Okay, 3 years ago. Hey, I reacted to this.
Of course, like any type of siblings, like we have our disagreements and our little fights and stuff like that, but we get along really well.
We know each other so well that we know how to make it work.
Exactly. And in the second that we start writing music, everything just flows really nicely. Like, I don't know what to call it except like sibling magic.
Yeah.
Escape the Mind, those were our first compositions ever. That was our first time writing. I was like 12, Danny was 14, and I was 9. We were children. But it was the moment where we really fell in love with music and like what we wanted to do. Like creating something was just such a powerful experience.
And you know, it was such a key thing, I think, personally, that we were not thinking about will people like it, because we were not going to release it. We were not even going to record it. It was not going to be a thing. So we just
This was just for us.
literally wrote from our 14-year-old hearts.
And on walk on to the very top and ride, even though I stumble.
And then we jump into our first album, 21st Century Blood. And it was weird because
Which I mistakenly said 11th Century Blood when I reacted to it. Somebody in there was just like, yeah, XXI is 21. And I'm like, oh, I'm an idiot.
all the compositions that are in 21st Century Blood were written in the same time as Escape the Mind. But there was this very big leap we gave with this song that we made called Free Falling.
It was the first song we actually wrote together.
Yeah. And you know, it was also a big thing that we started like looking for outside inspiration. We really like what's happening in the world that we can write about.
And more than anything, like we read so much and we consume a lot of media as any Gen Z teen does. So we were constantly getting inspired by other stories that we were hearing. So 21st Century Blood was like, we felt like it was our first step. You know, like, okay, we're a band now. This is our album.
And nothing will change. I'm crashing through space. I'm burning up, and there's nothing I can put out this place.
And one thing that I really like that we do, we really looked for what the song needed. We were like, okay, so what if this is a song with only piano, violins, and stuff like that? Like, we didn't focus on, oh, we have to be rock. We just focused on the energy that went into the song. So if you hear our music, sometimes it will be very varied within the same album.
But then Queen of the Murder Scene comes. It's our second album, and Queen of the Murder Scene, I was in middle school. I started going through my emo phase. So you can hear it clearly there how that shift and like I'm angsty now.
Nothing wrong with that.
You don't really wanna feel like me.
These songs and these albums like grew with us. It's literally, you can see like the change.
Yeah,
in
you can feel the
personality.
Yeah,
Our
and
music.
Queen of the Murder Scene is a concept album. It tells a story.
A novel.
And yeah, it was like a novel, and it was a really different process writing songs to fit a narrative and a
It
plot.
was really hard.
It was hard because we had some, and then we had to add like the filler episodes, but we didn't want them to feel like filler songs. So we really had to put meaning into every single little part. But I was like really into this idea of making it a whole album about this story.
Yeah.
And when I told them about it, they were like, "What?
Why is there blood everywhere?
Why?
I was like, "Please hear me out."
We had to change
so much.
like a
the
lot of
story.
the storyline because it wasn't
It wasn't
that
like
much of a
that.
storyline.
Yeah, it was just like
murder.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
You were getting into.
I was getting into K-pop.
That's true. I just
So
remember that too.
we took the emo face K-pop like
Route.
express line, right?
Yeah.
So you can hear a lot of influences in there that maybe you don't pinpoint them as such, but for us it's really apparent like which phases we were going
That key
through.
change into the
Those
one.
key
Like,
changes, those harmonies, like it was all very K-poppy for us.
it's a thing that we also love to do. That as we start learning new ways of doing this, we just like, okay, what's the next thing that we can try out with our music?
Yeah.
So
And
It's
in,
very fun.
in Queen of the Murder Scene, it was key changes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was
definitely.
change the key.
That was a theme.
It's revolutionary. I mean, it's I don't know how I want to put it. You have to pull inspiration from everywhere and from things that have already been done. The hope is just that when you pull the inspiration, they've clearly done it well, but the hope is when you pull inspiration, you're not copying. You're pulling inspiration. But there's also there's a reason why certain songs that they have make me think of other songs from other groups. And I think it was Ed Sheeran had actually proved a point, basically like there's only a limited amount of sounds that you can make with music. You're gonna start to repeat some things. Some things are going to inevitably sound like other things, and I think that's true. But I also think that, like how The Warning does it, where they're like, oh, I can hear the influence of this, but it doesn't sound like this. It's not a direct, oh, they took the entire sound from, System of a Down or Avenged Sevenfold and they put it in. It's like, no, you can hear a little bit of maybe what they do, but it's still The Warning, if that makes sense.
Key changes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was
Definitely.
change the key.
That was a theme.
Coming from Queen of the Murder Scene, things are really different now. Because I
And-
feel like we really grew as people,
even
as
more.
musicians.
Like
Right,
from
'cause
those two.
We're going through our teenage years. Of course, you grow a lot from one year to another, and you start living different experiences and stuff like that. So I feel like this third album is personal.
Yeah.
Like it talks more about our feelings or situations that are close to us, or our opinions on certain situations.
I haven't heard this one. I don't think.
Evolve was one of the songs that we started writing together, and we had music first
Oh wait.
Yeah.
before lyrics and melody. It's usually the other way around. So the three of us were in this
This
room,
room, yes,
and Danny
right
and Ale
there.
were like playing, like getting the riff, and I was like, let me write a melody really quickly for the verse and just like put some lyrics on there. And I was like, hey, that's a
Let's
good
go ahead.
line.
That's a cool
I'm not in
line.
danger, I'm the danger.
I do feel that it encases what this new album represents for us, the changes that we went through as musicians, as people, and in writing, because we saw things differently. Like right now we really concentrated on adding a lot of like new harmonies and how like the bass and the drums were going to play together and then differently at the same time.
Like there is so much room to grow, and we always enter these situations like with big wondrous eyes. Like we're gonna learn today. What are we gonna learn now?
What's gonna happen
Yeah.
now?
Okay, everybody.
Oye, ¿cómo va? Mi ritmo bueno para gozar. Mulata, oye, ¿cómo va? Mi ritmo bueno para gozar. Mulata, pam 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 pam.
Definitely performing our songs live is a totally different universe. Like we treat it as such, even ourselves. We know it's nothing like recording in a studio, but it's so much fun. You're like directly sharing and expressing to the people who are watching you.
And I feel like our past albums, we try to grab like the sound, like how we sound live into our recordings, and we never really
But we have never accomplished
we
that.
never accomplished that until like
This
third
third
album.
album.
I've already collapsed, so I'll just drown my sorrows in a non-existent world.
We put in a lot of hard work into our live shows. We really plan everything out, and we practice it a lot.
And even our movements, like if you see us playing in our early stages of the band, we're just like statues. And that's something that we actually worked on consciously. It's like how to play, being able to like jump around and bring more energy to the show.
Like we make fun of each other while we're on stage.
And I know like I shouldn't really be like saying this, but even when we mess up, we're like, oh, you messed up. Like,
and we just look at each other like, you messed up.
I think I'd rather have it from like them to each other saying, you got it, instead of like the audience being like, you messed up.
When we play a show in our country and in our home city, it's just absolutely amazing.
Actually, our last show that we played was in Mexico City, and we hadn't been to Mexico City in a long time.
Yeah.
So coming back and seeing that we had more fans, like there were a lot of people watching us. It was just insane. It was one of the
so
best
cool.
shows
People
we've ever
like
had.
screaming our songs. We actually have like a video where you hear everyone singing on top of like it's
you can't hear us. Mexico really has something very
a
special.
big scene
Like-
of energetic people
Yeah,
ready
people are
for
really
metal.
passionate about music in general here in Mexico, and the crowds are always really energetic.
Like this energy that they transmit, you just can't help but give it back. It's really about making like a personal connection of what you want to transmit through your instrument. Cause I look at our past videos, like our covers,
No.
and I'm like, no, what are
You're like,
you
no, don't do that.
doing? But we were so young, we were starting out, so it's okay. But I feel like that's a really nice thing. Looking back and seeing how much you've improved, how much you've grown.
A veces las cosas obvias son las más difíciles de ver. Te asfixiaste con tus propias manos. Cuando todo apunta que por fin alguien te viene a rescatar, te encuentras nuevamente abandonado. En tu martirio
At the end of the day, like there's a goal. and there's something that you want to reach. And it's really about putting in a lot of work.
And just also be very conscious that the people who work around you are different, are going through different things and will think differently than you. There's no one that will think exactly like you. So taking things with...
And anybody who's worked, any job knows that. I'm sure you guys have all worked with people or worked for people or around people who expect you to have the same mindset as them, and it can get very, very taxing. And then, yeah, the 1 year that I realized, oh, wait a minute, everyone's gonna have different thoughts, different ways of doing things, different feelings. You start thinking like, all right, well, what's the overarching goal? Okay, as long as we're meeting the goal, then nothing else matters. Everybody can do their own thing. Everybody can have their own. They don't have to be, all told what to do and in the same mindset. And trying to force other people to do that is just a recipe for disaster. So I think that was very, very wise words.
around you are different, are going through different things and will think differently than you. There's no one that will think exactly like you. So taking things with a grain of salt and not taking things personal for it to ruin like your experience is a key thing. As sisters, we really have like that separate, our working selves and our sister selves.
Sometimes people have these stereotypes or these stigmas, like we've seen it in places we've played in festivals and stuff like that. Like the treatment is really different to like other bands, like male bands. But we see that change after like
we play.
Yeah, we play and then like people's faces completely change. Yeah. And like everyone's just so excited.
Which is fun to see because they remind themselves that it doesn't matter who is playing, their age, whatever it is. It's about the music.
Music is the language. It doesn't matter like where you're from, like what language you speak, like anything. Like music is the language.
That was awesome. Thank you, Mr. Scott, for that recommendation and for the donation. Yes, I definitely feel like I have more background now, and probably sooner than I would have if I had just watched song after song after song after song. That was cool. I wish more groups had little documentaries like this. That was cool. Well, if you guys stuck to the end, thank you. That was awesome. I will have to check out some more of TIDAL's stuff. But thank you all, and if you enjoyed that, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Go follow TIDAL. Go follow The Warning, of course. And talk to you guys soon. Bye!